Well, there are more questions than answers in West Texas this morning.
Investigators trying to figure out why a man shot several people while driving down a busy stretch of road in Midland and Odessa. 7 people are dead, another 22 recovering. We'll have more on the gunman coming up in just a moment, but friends and families of the people that he targeted are simply devastated.
Yeah, Fox 4's Allison Harris live in Odessa this morning, where they gathered for a vigil in honor of the victims last night. Allison.
Brandon and Lauren, the mayor of Midland said yesterday, our prayer is stronger than ever. This idiot cannot break our faith. We're seeing that kind of resolve from people here in West Texas as they mourn the loss of those 7 people who were killed and pray for the 22 who were injured. We're learning more today about the victims. They are 29-year-old Mary Granados, a letter carrier for the U.S. Postal Service, 25-year-old Edwin Peregrino, who ran into his parents' yard after hearing gunshots when the shooter opened fire and killed him, 15-year-old Layla Hernandez, who was a student at Odessa High School and was killed while car shopping with her brother, 40-year-old Joseph Griffith, killed while sitting at a traffic light with his wife and his 2 children, and 28-year-old Daniel Munoz, who survived. He says he was in his car on I-20, yielding to a car that was coming onto the interstate around 3:15 on Saturday when he noticed that the driver had a rifle in his hands. He was shot in the shoulder. That driver that he saw, of course, was the shooter, 36-year-old Seth Ator. We also know that the youngest victim, 17-month-old Anderson Davis, also survived. She was shot in the mouth. We were at a vigil last night as people mourned. The mayor of Odessa talked about what a community-wide effort this has been.
At one point, we ran out of ambulances, and most of the equipment was out due to the fact that we had 15 crime scenes. We had officers put people in their Tahoes and take them to the hospital. We had citizens step up and take people to the hospital.
And remember, there were 3 law enforcement officers who were injured. The Midland officer is in critical condition and is having another surgery. The Odessa officer is doing well, and same for the DPS trooper. Lauren and Brandon.
All right, Allison, thank you. This morning, we are learning more about the gunman behind the deadly attack.
Fox 4's Dan Godwin's in the studio with us with some new details. Dan?
Well, Lauren, the New York Times is reporting that the gunman had been fired from his trucking job just hours before the rampage. But it's not known yet if the loss of that job explains the killing spree that followed. The shooter's name, as Allison Harris mentioned, Seth Ator, 36 years old. He was from Odessa. Authorities say he used an AR-type rifle. He'd initially been pulled over for a traffic stop in Midland. That's when he first opened fire, wounding that DPS trooper. He shot at random as he drove through Midland and Odessa, killing 7 people, wounding 22 others. He was killed in a shootout with police at a movie theater. A former federal agent said investigators will be talking to Ator's friends and family and others to try to establish a clear motive for the attack.
Co-workers, anybody that had any type of interaction with him recently, was there a turning point in his life? And that'll give some valuable clues whether he was maybe mentally he was off, or was he angry? Was he both? Was he on a mission to become infamous?
According to a search of state records, the shooter had 2 prior arrests in Texas in 2001. They were misdemeanors for evading arrest and criminal trespassing, both resulting in deferred adjudication. Investigators do say Ator acted alone. No indication that he had any ties to domestic or international terrorist groups. Dan Godwin on Good Day.